Hi everybody, Bruce Roth here. This is my second of a two-part video on how to rent your property yourself for landlords. So I've already talked about everything up through showing the property. So now you have someone who wants to rent the house from you. So you should have applications ready and you should accept applications. A lot of landlords accept applications just with no fee. That, I think, is a big mistake. You should make the tenant pay the money that you're going to charge to run their credit report. In my business, it's $25. That may be going up to $30, but you should make your tenants pay that money, the tenant prospects, because if someone turns in an application to you and they don't pay a fee, they're probably not that interested in your property. They're not committed to it anyway. If they do pay the fee, they are committed. So you have to know that you don't really know whether they actually want your property just because they spent 5 minutes filling out the application. Definitely collect the fee from them. If they give you that money, they're committed, they want the property. Also, you don't want to come out of pocket with all the money to run all these credit checks. So I also don't let the tenant prospect bring me a credit report for two main reasons. The first reason is I've seen credit reports that were not accurate. They were not filled out, they were not run by an accredited agency, or they were falsified. I don't trust them, and you shouldn't either. The next thing that you need to know is that they also don't have, if they get them from a mortgage company, they don't have an eviction report, which I think is more important than what their credit score is. There's lots of people with low credit scores who make good tenants. They're just non-credit users, or they've been non-credit users for some years and their credit score is not high. You have to be a heavy credit user to have a high credit score. So you might actually, there are people who think that being a heavy credit user actually makes you less credit worthy. That's up to you how you want to handle it. I also do a full background check. I recommend you do the same. Call their current landlord and their current employer. When you're done with that, if you have a good feeling, you talk to them, that's fine. Go ahead and move forward. If you have any yellow caution flags come up in your own mind, you want to check the previous landlord and the previous employer. Self-employed people, you won't need to see tax returns because, unfortunately, there are people in the world who don't tell the truth. You need to make sure they make enough money to rent the property. Should be at pretty close to 3 times what the rent is, if not more. So then you need to go, once you've agreed to rent to them, then you move to the contract. You're going to write a contract for the rental of the property. I recommend a minimum 1-year lease. You have to cover a lot of things like deposit, what happens, how they get the deposit back, why they might not get it. All that should be written out very clearly in your contract. I have a great contract I use. It's 6 pages long, covers everything, dots all the I's, crosses all the T's, and it's a good idea to use it. So then, now that I've covered all that, and then the contract also needs to cover when they're going to move into the property, what their occupancy date is. If you alright, that's pretty much how you rent a house. Now, there's another question that you need to consider is whether or not to use a professional or to rent it yourself. Go pro versus no. So, I think you're probably better off using a professional, someone who actually is committed to doing it. Most real estate brokers do not have a system for renting properties the way I do, but the money that we charge you to rent the property, we're probably going to get you a better rent, we're probably going to get the tenant faster, and we're probably going to get you a better tenant. The tenants, bad tenants, look at me and they turn tail and run the other way. I've only had 2 tenants out of the many, many properties that I've rented where the tenancy terminated early, and both of those were voluntary mutual terminations where the tenant went to the landlord and said, my life conditions have changed. Like, for instance, one of them was a boyfriend and girlfriend who moved in together to rent this place and they broke up. So neither of them could afford the place by themselves, so the landlord let them out of the contract. And the kind of people that cheat landlords see me coming, they run the other way. Now, here's an aside that I think you need to take into consideration. If you own the property free and clear or nearly free and clear, a lot of landlords, property owners think that that means that the only cost they have in having a vacant property is what it actually costs them to own the property, their mortgage or their taxes per day. But that's not accurate. Whether you owe more than the property's worth or less than the property's worth, the amount that you lose for each day that the property is vacant is how much you could be collecting in rent. So if the rental amount for that property is $2,000, the amount you're losing per day is about $67 a day. If it's $3,000, you're losing $100 a day. And don't let your low expenses fool you. That's the amount you're actually losing. So every day costs you money. You can't wait. I have a great offer. I don't want to put it on this video because I don't want to make a public service announcement to all my realtor competitors. But if you're interested in finding out what I can do for you as a landlord, please call me at area code 818-921-0150, or you can email me at bruce@bruceroth.com. I like talking on the phone better because I can talk faster and it's easier, less cumbersome than, you know, one question, one answer can take a day if you're not active in your email. But in a phone conversation, you can be done in a few minutes. So give me a call to help you with any of your real estate needs. Bruce Roth, 818-921-0150. Thanks and have a great day.